Hello, my stamping friends. This is Renae Novak at BlessedByCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm here today to share with you some fun techniques on how to turn these dies from the Artfully Layered stamp set and bundle into actual stamps that you can use on your card. So it's a really fun technique. It's super easy. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is some fun foam. Now, you can get this at the dollar store or Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever craft store is near you, but you need some fun foam, and it's that squishy art foam that the kids use, and that's what we're going to make our stamps from. So you're going to take your die, whichever one you want to use, and I created a stamp from both of these. And then I tried it on this more full die to create a another stamp. It's a little dark, but I liked it, so I made 3 stamps. One of the things you want to make sure you do is run it back and forth a couple times if you want to get all of these little pieces out of this one. And so what you want to do is make sure that you keep it in the machine. I did not. I kind of took it out. I thought it was done, and it wasn't. The middle parts weren't cut out, so I needed to run it through a few more times, and it moved slightly. So you can see that it's kind of off, and that this one, the second time through, cut it. So if you want it to pop these center pieces out, you want to run it back and forth in the Big Shot a few times before you even take it out. And that way you won't have the problem that I did with my die shifting. Okay, so now we're going to create a fun background for our card, and we're going to use the large fern, and I'm going to stamp that in some mint macaron. Now, all of the measurements for this card that I'm using and the supplies will be available at BlessedByCards.com, and so you can hop on over to my blog for that free PDF download. But I'm just going to kind of sauce it up, and there's really no right or wrong, but maybe stamp your first image that you want. And then what I did was I came back in with a darker color, and I did my greeting. And I did my greeting because it was a little long. Now, on the greeting that I already did, that was a happy anniversary because I needed that card. But this one today, we're going to use the sentiment from the Artfully Layered bundle, and I'm just going to stamp it straight down in garden green, a little bit darker. You can use a stamp apparatus to position it and getting as dark as you want. So then we're going to come back in then with the mint macaron, and I'm going to continue layering around my card. So I want to create kind of a forest look. And you can have as much white space showing, or you can have a very little white space showing. It really all depends on, you know, the design that you want. And so I'm just going to throw a few on here. Okay, so now what I think I'll do is I'll come in with my colored flower, and I'm using polished pink. It's one of the in colors, and this stamp is from Blooms and Blossoms. Nope, it's from Boughs and Blossoms, sorry, but it is in the January to June catalog. So I'm just going to stamp it up and push it right down there just to add a little bit of color. And like I said, you can add as much or as little color as you want. I kind of did this flower just to see where the open white spaces would be, because now we're going to come back in with that darker garden green, and we're going to use the stamps that we created. So after you run it through and you get your stamp, you put it on an acrylic block. Now I use that spray adhesive. You can use that. It works really great. I had some in my sewing kit from when I used to sew hems but you can get it for paper as well. And I just put it in the trash can so that it didn't get all over, and sprayed it to get some adhesive on there, and then it sticks to my block. And so I'm just inking that up, and I'm going to kind of come in here and I'm just going to stamp it right on top. And look at that. It's gorgeous. This is gorgeous. And I'm just going to rotate this around, and I'm going to do another one right here. And then I think I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to do a smaller one right here. There you go. Very nice. Okay, so then if you wanted to use the other one that we made from, this is a little bit smaller than the actual stamp. The stamp itself is an outline, which would work for this, but it's a little bit bigger. And so I chose to just go ahead and create myself another one. And again, there's no right or wrong, wherever you want it to go, to give it a little interest on your card. Isn't that cute? I think that's stinking cute. All right, now before I put that together, let me show you the other one that I made out of the other die that I cut. This one is a little bit more solid, so you might not want that look. But I'm just going to bring in a piece of white paper to show you what that one stamps like. Because this one's a little more solid, we really need to make sure that we get it nice and sauced up. So you have to look on the other side to make sure that it's nice and dark. And you just kind of press it in there and get it nice and dark, and then stick it right down on there. And like I said, this one's a little more solid, so you might not want that look. But then let's just go ahead and throw a flower on here so we can see what it looks like. That polished pink. So it gives it a different look. It's a little darker. So if that's the look that you want, and it could be singular, or you could come back in with your smaller ones, and we could ink that up and come back in with the smaller ones that we did. Stinking cute. That is just a great way that you can use your dies and turn them into stamps. Now, I like the way it looks on this one with the solid fern, but because this die does not fully cover the flower, it doesn't line up or anything. You could stamp these and color them in a lighter color, but I just kind of like this foresty look. And this is, again, the Artfully Layered bundle. So let's just go ahead and bring in some glue. Bring in the liquid glue. And then you can just mount that directly to your card. You can add a piece of the pink for accent like I did on the first one. Let me bring that one back in so you can see it. So very similar. This one with this greeting from the Artfully Layered, and this is an anniversary one that I needed to send one of my good aunts and uncles who's celebrating an anniversary this week. So that is the Make It Monday for today, and that is how to turn your dies into a stamp using the fun foam. And you can run that directly through the Big Shot, and it will be a unique look. Now, I do have another card here that I did for, this is actually the die that I cut out, and that's what kind of gave me this idea. I am doing an event with a lot of people, and I don't think they have time to wait on the die machine. And so I thought, well, I really like that look, but let's just do a solid look with turning that die into a stamp. So that's why I did that, because I have about 14 people coming to my cards, cocktails, and bingo night, and I didn't want them to have to wait on that particular die running it through. So I just turned these two simple dies into stamps. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Be sure to share with your friend. Subscribe to my channel so that you can join me for every Monday for another Make It Monday tutorial. So until then, be blessed.